12 News at 10 with Mark Curtis and Caribe Divine starts now.
We begin tonight with breaking news out of the West Valley. A crash there has left one person dead and 4 others hospitalized. Sky 12 over the scene at 67th Avenue near Olive. Police say 2 cars collided about 7:30 this evening. A man in one of the cars was killed, and a woman in the same vehicle suffered life-threatening injuries. Police say 3 people in the other car, a woman and 2 children, were also taken to the hospital and are expected to survive. Right now, 67th Avenue closed in both directions between Butler and Olive Avenue.
Developing tonight, multiple UPS employees here in the Valley have been arrested after police say they organized a scheme to steal packages.
Records show it's been going on for the past year, and the investigation is still ongoing. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Mark Curtis.
And I'm Caribe Divine. 12 News journalist Bianca Bono is joining us live in studio. And Bianca, how were these suspects caught?
Crazy time for this to happen, right? Amid the busiest time of the year for shipping, court records indicate it was actually UPS that caught on to what was happening, realizing that packages were being received at their warehouse but never making it to the final destination. UPS launched its own internal fraud investigation, and then just yesterday, they brought in Mesa police. 1 week before Christmas, during the busiest time of the year for UPS, 4 of the company's employees are accused of being Grinches, participating in an elaborate plan to steal packages.
You were all arrested on allegations of theft, control of property, which is a Class 3 felony.
Casey Bedell, Jeremy Large, Jordan Arias, and David Panaski appearing before a judge together after their alleged fraudulent scheme was foiled.
It's that you organized a scheme to defraud people.
Court records say the 4 suspects worked at this Mesa UPS warehouse near Higley and Baseline Roads, and staff there realized that for the past year, several packages were being received by vendors at the warehouse, but never making it to the final destination. An internal investigation was launched, and after sorting through logs and surveillance video, they were led to these employees. That's when they notified the Mesa Police Department, who say all 4 suspects admitted to their crimes, describing how they did it. Records show when packages arrived at the warehouse, these suspects would specifically look for electronics like computers and TVs, and prior to placing them on UPS trucks for final delivery, they would remove them from the shipping line, create a new label using a fake name, and replace the address with one of their own. The packages would then be shipped directly to them. Mesa police serving search warrants at each of the suspects' homes, finding the stolen goods worth more than $10,000.
I am going to set a secured appearance bond for each of you. It's going to be the same on all 4 cases. It's a $10,000 secured bond.
As these 4 suspects now work their way through the legal system, the investigation into the shipping scheme continues. And a UPS spokesperson said they were unable to comment yet because this is still an ongoing investigation. Now, in addition to theft, 2 of the suspects, Jordan Arias and David Panaski, are also facing fraud charges. Now, if you ever have a lost or missing package, you can file a claim on UPS's website, and the company will investigate. We're live in studio. Bianca Bono, 12 News.
All right, Bianca, thank you. Developing tonight, a suspect is dead after a gun battle with Phoenix police. It started around 11 this morning when officers got a call about a man with a gun inside the Whataburger near Thunderbird and I-17. Everyone inside got out safely, but that's when police say the suspect started shooting at officers. Those officers then shot back. This went on for over 20 minutes before it stopped. Phoenix police say that they don't know if their officers shot the suspect or if the suspect shot himself. They say that they are lucky no bystanders were injured.
Outcome that we can expect. There is always the potential of individuals in the community. Like I said, Thunderbird is a very busy road. There's always that possibility that people in the community can be injured, especially on a fire exchange such as we experienced today.
Pretty wild that nobody else got hurt. This is a live look right now, though, at the scene, and you can see it is still very active there with investigators as they continue to collect evidence. At last check, Phoenix police told us that they expect for Thunderbird Road to be closed all through the night and into tomorrow morning.
New details tonight on a deadly crash involving an Apache Junction police officer. This was near Apache Trail and Valley Drive. The department says their officers was responding to a road rage call yesterday when they crashed into another car. The driver of the other car, identified as Kaya Pendick, was killed. The officer was taken to the hospital. Arizona DPS has now taken over the investigation.
All right, let's get a first check of our weather impact forecast with meteorologist Crystal Long.
And Crystal, these temperatures we're seeing certainly not normal for almost the end of the year.
No, here's how out of whack our weather is right now. We're turning temperatures up 10 to 21 degrees above average tomorrow. I'm not saying we're complaining about it. I'm just saying this is not the seasonal standard. I mean, ooh la la, show me the 70s and the 80s, right? They're scattered all across the state, looking good. Phoenix at 82, that's a record breaker. Same for Tucson. We're cracking into the 70s for Sedona, Kingman, Safford, on the cusp of 70 there in Payson, and close to that 60-degree mark in Show Low. The farther south you go, the more sun you're gonna find. The farther north you go, the more you're gonna get caught up in those high clouds. And that's kind of the theme. The clouds are going to come and go straight through your first weekend of winter, no less, but they're plain old clouds. Oh, by the way, the winter solstice is on Saturday, and 3 out of the 4 of these are record-breaking temperatures. Valley, Show Low, and Flagstaff, and we're keeping those numbers way above average on Sunday, too.
All right, Crystal, thank you. Right now, the U.S. government is just 48 hours away from a government shutdown. Today, President-elect Trump rejected a bipartisan funding plan and demanded that House Republicans make big changes. Trump and Vice President-elect Vance issued a statement slamming the budget resolution. They also asked Congress to raise the national debt limit, something that was not originally on the table, and that is often rejected by Republicans. If a deal cannot be reached by the end of the day on Friday, the government will officially enter a shutdown.
Also in Washington today, Arizona Senator Kyrsten Sinema delivered her farewell address in the U.S. Senate. She's set to leave office in January. Now a registered independent, she left the Democratic Party during her time in office. In today's remarks, she challenged both parties to try to work across the aisle and return to a more civil dialogue.
In recent history, both parties have wrestled with the importance of norms and rules, and both parties have viewed these norms and rules as outdated, constraining, or simply obstacles to their short-term victories. Many now blame these guardrails for blocking critical progress, instead of recognizing that it is us, our actions, our words, our incivility, and ultimately our unwillingness to compromise that prevent reasonable solutions from advancing.
Sinema chose not to run for a second term. She's the first woman elected to the Senate from Arizona and the only religiously unaffiliated member. She'll be replaced by Democrat Ruben Gallego. The Mesa Fire Department has a long history dating back to even before Arizona was a state, and in the 126 years since its founding, the department sadly has lost 10 firefighters in the line of duty.
And now, thanks to the help of a city bond and some generous donors, those 10 firefighters have a newly renovated memorial in their honor. 12 News journalist Brenda Lipinski was there as families gathered to see the finished product.
This will be a special, meaningful place for, obviously, the families and friends.
The city of Mesa hosting a dedication ceremony at the Firefighter Memorial Park, with renovations honoring 10 fallen firefighters dating back to the 1940s.
These are not just names on a plaque for folks.
Along with city officials, families of the fallen attending the event.
And I loved her more than anyone ever, and I really cared for her, and I just missed her so much.
Abigail Sullivan's mother, Nikki Sullivan, lost her life to breast cancer in 2019. This tribute, a special moment for her and others.
I think this is such a special moment because I know everyone here just misses all these people so much. And I think that it's such an incredible thing that we can all gather here today and honor these people.
Renovations to the park costing $160,000 in fundraising and some funding from the city's 2018 park bond.
Please help us recognize the families here.
An effort Fire Chief Mary Camelli says is close to her heart.
I worked with them and knew their families.
Offering a space for families to reflect on the loss of their loved ones.
It does remind them of the loss of their loved one who gave the ultimate sacrifice. But the joy in this is that they do have a place to come. They do have a place where they can share stories about their loved one, pass it on to other generations.
As for Abigail, she hopes community members can also come together to remember the heroes who served to protect them.
I just want them to know that these people worked so hard through what they did, and they should be remembered for everything that they've done. And they all should be loved and remembered so much because of what they've done.
Brenda Lipinski, 12 News.
All right, Brenda, thanks. Still